little bit of knowledge that I have gained over the last 8 years of chanting Samkshepa Ramayana on every Ekadashi. I started this exercise as um, just on my own initiative. I listened to the Krishnaswamy from Tirupati. He lives in Andhra Pradesh. He's the one who has erected this huge Ramanujacharya statue, if you know, in Andhra Pradesh. And I started listening to his recitation, the chanting of Samkshepa Ramayana, and I decided I wanted to learn. From a very young age, I've been drawn to the values espoused in the Ramayana, and again, I consider it uh, a divine opportunity to have a little bit learned the chanting of this Ramayana. I will start with a small introduction about Samkshepa Ramayana. I'll start with a brief history of Valmiki. Then I'll proceed to talk about the three main events that happened in Valmiki's life that led him to write the Ramayana. And from there, we'll talk about the Narada Valmiki Samvada that happens. And then I will chant the uh, Samkshepa Ramayana. So please bear with me. It's going to be about uh, 10 to 15 minutes. I'll keep it short, but the chanting will take about 25 minutes. So, great. As we all know, Valmiki is the first poet to write an Adi Kavya, as Ramayana is known in Sanskrit, and it means the story of Rama. Ramayana is Rama plus Ayana, and it depicts the story of Rama. It's not just the story of Rama. It means the inner meaning of Ramayana is actually the path shown by Rama that we all have to follow. Now, the name Rama itself means the essence of Vedas. So, the story of Rama is an ocean of milk which is pure and potent. Now, briefly about Ramayana. So, we saw it's a story of Rama, and it consists of about 24,000 shlokas, and it is divided into six sargas, six kandas. We know it's the Balakanda, Ayodhya Kanda, Aranya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, and Yuddha Kanda. Samkshepa Ramayana is the start of this big epic. It comes at the very beginning, so it is part of the Balakanda. Now, before starting the recitation of Ramayana, there are some Dhyana shlokas that need to be recited, and at the end, we'll have the Mangala shlokas. Now, these Dhyana shlokas are of three different types according to the traditions that we follow. I come from the Ramanujacharya's tradition, so I will chant the Dhyana shlokas from that tradition. Now, Valmiki, as we all know, is not his birth name. His birth name was Ratnakara, and he came to be Maharishi Valmiki. He was born in a Shudra family, and he was a hunter cum thief. So, how did Ratnakara, become Valmiki? Is a very interesting story. I'm sure you must have all heard of this, but nevertheless, I will just share it with you all here. Now, the way Ratnakara and their family lived was, I mean, they lived in being a hunter, they lived in the forest, and they would stop any passers-by and take all the wealth that they have, and let them go through the forest. So this is how they were earning their living for several decades, probably. And one day, sage Narada came through that forest, and Ratnakara stopped Narada and asked him to part with all the wealth that Narada had, including the wealthy. Narada would be very well dressed, you know. So Ratnakara wanted all that Narada had. And to this, Narada said, I will definitely give you all this. But do you know that you're accruing sins by stealing things from others? To which Ratnakara said, I don't care. I have to, feed my family. So instead of giving me all this lecture, just part with your things and then leave. So Narada again promised. He said, I will definitely part with all the things, all the valuables that I have. I'm going to be waiting here while you go to your family because you're earning all of this, you say, for your family. Now go to your family and ask them if they would partake of all the sins that you are accruing because of this stealing. So Ratnakara was convinced that this man will not go anywhere. So he went to his family. He asked his parents, he asked his wife, he asked his sons. No one was willing to partake any of the sins that he had accrued. Now, the story is very elaborate there, but I will not go into this detail because of the paucity of time. So he comes back to Narada, and Narada asks him what happened. And the sage says, Ratnakara explained to him what happened. And Narada, he was very sad at the outcome that he faced with his family. So Narada consoles him and he says, um, I'm going to give you a mantra, reciting which you will be rid of all these sins and you are going to lead a life of bliss. So Ratnakara was very happy, and Narada gave him the mantra of Ramanama, and he told him to sit and meditate on this Ramanama. There began Ratnakara's bhakti journey. So he sat at a quiet place and he started meditating on this Ramanama for several years. So much so that an ant hill started growing up on him. And after intense tapasya or meditation, there appeared a divine being who which shattered the anthill, and from that emerged Ratnakara, and he was named Valmiki from that day because Valmikam means anthill. So from that he came, or the earth. So which is why he's called Valmiki or Valmiki. And so he started living an ascetic life from then on. Soon he had a disciple called Sage Bharadwaja also. And as they were living, again Sage Narada came to his hermitage. So this time Valmiki fell at his feet. He gave him what they call the Arkyam Padyam, like water to drink, and gave him an asana to sit. And after Narada was seated well, they started having a conversation. And Valmiki wanted to know if there lived a person who had 16 qualities. So this forms the essence of Ramayana actually. This question that Valmiki asked Narada forms the root for this entire epic, which we are able to enjoy even today. You know, it was written millennia before, you know, in Treta Yuga, and we are still able to enjoy it, follow it also. We'll go into a little bit of details about that. So Narada and Valmiki were having this conversation, and Narada told Valmiki a very brief, which is why it's called Samkshepa, means a brief Ramayana, which told him which answered Valmiki's 16 questions, yeah, about a person who's living, not someone in the past, not someone in the future. Valmiki wanted to know if there is someone who is living now. Now, we also have to remember that at this point of time, when Valmiki is asking this question to Narada, Sita Devi was already living in the Valmiki's ashram. And it was, which means that Valmiki is a contemporary to Rama. So by then, Dasharatha had died. Rama had gone to Lanka with Lakshmana. He had killed Ravana, brought Sita back, and they were living happily for a few years. Then she became pregnant, and due to a turn of certain events, Sita had to be left in the forest at the Valmiki's ashram. So it was at this point of time that Narada comes, and this is the first major event that led to Valmiki writing the Ramayana. Now, the second event is that after Narada comes and he leaves after reciting this Samkshepa Ramayana to Valmiki, he says, "You keep meditating on this story for a while, and then a right time will come when you will be able to use it in a appropriate way." Saying this, Narada leaves, and next is the second event. Now, the second event is that where Valmiki and sage Bharadwaja, they have to do these daily Anushtana, as we call the daily rituals, one of which is doing the evening Sandhya Vantana. So, for that, they go to the banks of the river Tamasa, where they have their customary bath and prayers, and on their return, they happened, instead of taking the normal route to their hermitage, they took a slight detour and went into a garden. And there they saw these crowncha birds sitting on a tree. And as Valmiki was admiring the beauty of these birds and the nature, suddenly a hunter hit one of the birds with an arrow and the bird died. Seeing this pain that the death of one of the birds caused to the other bird, Valmiki got very angry and he gave a curse to this hunter. And somehow from his mouth, it came grammatically, using the Sanskrit rules and regulations. It was so correct grammatically and it came out as a shloka. So he comes back, both of them come back to their home, and he was very sad at the incident that happened. And as he was sitting there thinking about this, Lord Brahma comes there to Valmiki's ashram. And this is the third event that leads to the writing of Ramayana by Valmiki. So Lord Brahma has a good look at Valmiki and asks him, "Are you upset about something?" And then Valmiki tells him what happened, and he says, "This is not a curse, actually." And he changes some of the words in the shloka, and he makes the shloka start with the word Ma, which is Goddess Mahalakshmi. So he says it's actually an auspicious beginning that you've had, and it is only because of the grace of Lord Vishnu that we were able to kind of have Saraswati sit on your tongue, so you were able to say these verses. And with that, he says, now is the right time for you to write the Ramayana. Now, by this time, Valmiki has kind of been meditating on the Samkshepa Ramayana given to him by Narada, sage Narada, and he is now ready to write this 32 shloka of Samkshepa Ramayana has to be expanded into a 24,000 Ramayana epic. Now, originally it contained more than 1 lakh shlokas. But Brahmaji kind of gave him only this much to write, and I think that itself was huge, and we are still trying to learn all of it. This is the third event, Lord Brahma coming and requesting Valmiki to start writing. Now, towards the end of this conversation, Brahma also says that the Ramayana that is going to be sung by sage Valmiki will exist in the world until the day that Himalayas or Ganga exist in the world. This means that Ramayana would just exist permanently in this world and nothing or nobody can ever destroy it. And also, he says that as long as Ramayana exists, Valmiki's name and fame and significance will also coexist with it. So with this, now Valmiki starts to write. As he starts, I think we are not the only ones to have the writer's block. Even Valmiki had this writer's block, and he again had to meditate upon what sage Narada said, and slowly he started writing. And we will see that. And before we go into the chanting itself, um, I will briefly talk about the 16 qualities that Valmiki asked um, sage Narada. So he says, Tapasvadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvitamvaram naradam paripaprascha Valmikir Munipungavam. He says, Valmiki, who's a Munipungavam, who's the greatest of all the sages, starts a conversation with sage Narada. And what kind of a person is Narada? Narada has tapas and swadhyaya. So he is one who has this ardent devotion or the tapas towards Lord Vishnu. And Swadhyaya, he keeps chanting the Vedas over and over again, which means sage Narada is a scholar of all the Vedas. And Valmiki considers him as the knower of all the three worlds and all the three times, which is the past, present, and the future. So he wants such a person because he has this tapasvi vagvidamvaram. Because of his tapas, he also has the vag, which is the art of effective communication. Along with the knowledge, he also has this art of effective communication. So he thinks he's the right person. Sage Narada is the right person to whom he can ask this question. And this question goes like, Kon vasmin sampradam loke, gunavan, kascha viryavan, dharmajnascha, kritagyascha, सत्यवाक्यो दृढव्रतः चारित्रेण च को युक्तः सर्वभूतेषु कोहितः विद्वान् कः समर्थश्च कश्चैक प्रियदर्शनः आत्मवान् को जितक्रोधो द्युतिमान् को न सूयकः कस्य पिबति देवाश्च जातरोषश्च संयुगे. So these are the 16 qualities. First is he is asking Gunavan. Now we all know that Rama has Guna is character. So he's asking who's this Gunavan? Now you can just say he's of good character, but he asked who is this Gunavan, which is the ultimate of all the characters, which according to many experts who have written extensive literature on Ramayana, call this attribute to be Saushiliam, or the quality when Rama is able to come down to the lowest level of his people and accept everyone unconditionally. This can be seen with the way he talks with Guha or Hanuman or Sugriva or even the demonic king Vibhishana. So he accepts everyone. That is Gunavan. Next is Viryavan, the strength. And then the Dharmagya is the person who stands by Dharma at all times. And Kritagya is the quality where he's always thankful or grateful. It is said that Rama never forgets even the smallest help anyone does to him. And if someone does anything bad to him, he will never remember that. So he's a Kritagya. And then he's Satyavakya. That is, I think, he will only talk the truth at any given situation. Dhradavrataha, he's always determined and steadfast in his attitude towards truth, righteousness, and charitrena chako yuktaha. He's a person with impeccable character and without any blemish. Sarvabhuteshu hitaha. He's a benign well-wisher. He takes care of all the beings in the world equally. So he's a vidwan. He's mastered over all the subjects, not just the astras. We know he's good with bow and arrow at warfare and all that, but he's also knowledgeable about the shastras, especially the dharma shastras and also the Vedas, the Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharvana. He's a samarthaha. It means he's a person who's capable of doing and accomplishing anything in this world. He's a priyadarshana. He's captivating. He's handsome and he has a very pleasant look. Then Atmavanaka. He's a person who knows the significance of the Atma, the inner soul, and he's the master of all the living beings. Chitakrodaha. He's always calm. He never gets angry. It means he's conquered his anger completely. Dyutiman. He has radiance, the charisma. Anasuyakaha, he doesn't have jealousy. Uh, uh, he's unenvious by nature. Bibhyati devaha. He's a person who, when he gets angry, he's feared by all the beings in the world and even the devas. So that is the kind of 16 qualities that Valmiki asks Narada, and Narada listens to all of this, and he says, Bahavo Durlabhaha. So it is very difficult to find a person who has all these 16 noble qualities that you have mentioned so far. And I'm not saying it is impossible to find one person, but I know there is one person who will fit your description. He says, but for that, you please give me a few minutes. I need to recoup myself. So saying this, Narada does Manasiga Puja to Lord Vishnu, meditates upon him, and then he replies to Valmiki. And here, first he talks about the physical characteristics of Rama. It means Rama is 8 feet long. He has his arms go right up to his knees or just below his knees. He has this bow, he has eyes, he has broad shoulders. All of that he says, and then he talks about 16 internal noble qualities. He talks about all of the characteristics. He runs through the Ramayana briefly, and then he talks about mm, yeah, he talks about the 14 years of exile, and then how he defeats Ravana, and then how they come back, and talks about Bharata, Lakshmana, all of them. And with that, I think we will, it's a brief of what Samkshepa Ramayana is, and then comes the Falashruti, where he says what happens if one reads reads the Samkshepa Ramayana, or the story of Rama. It purifies the heart, it destroys the sins, and then it confers the highest merit. It's equal to the Vedas, some people say. And anyone who reads the Ramayana with lot of devotion will attain all that is good according to one's birth in their life. So there are a lot more things that are said. I think because considering the time, I will now start with the chanting. I think I had shared the text. If anybody wants to follow along with me, they can try to follow. I think there's a Devanagari script also, right? Mrinalini, it's there,
Yes, I
right?
have shared it in the chat right now
Okay.
for people who can read Sanskrit,
Okay.
can open at their end and we can follow what
Okay.
you ask.
Okay. So I'll start. श्रीमते रामानुजाय नमः। श्रीसङ्क्षेपरामायणम् श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा कृति। श्रीमद् रामायणपठनोपक्रमे अनुसन्धेयाः श्लोकाः रामानुजदयापात्रं ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणं श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्म व्यामोहदस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवदयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वगुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वयवट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं पितामहस्यापि पितामहाय प्राचेदसादेशफलप्रदाय श्रीभाष्यकारोत्तमदेशिकाय श्रीशैलपूर्णाय नमो नमस्तात् शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये यस्य द्विरदवक्त्राद्याः पारिषद्याः परशदं विघ्नं निघ्नन्ति सततं विश्वक्सेनं तमाश्रये ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवमुपास्महे कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकेर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानादं को न याति परां गतिं यः पिबन् सततं रामचरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेदसम्मकल्मषं गोष्पदीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामालारत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोः सलिलं सलीलं यशोकवह्निं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयं मतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतं हस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसि जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेदसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मना चरितं रघुनाथस्य शतकोटिप्रविस्तरम् एकैकमक्षरं प्रोक्तं महापातकनाशनं शृण्वन् रामायणं भक्त्या यः पादं पदमेव वा तयादिब्रह्मणस्थानं ब्रह्मणा पूज्यते सदा वाल्मीकिगिरिसम्भूता रामसागरगामिनी पुनादिभुवनं पुण्य रामायणमहानदी श्लोककारसमाकीर्णं सर्गकल्लोलसङ्कुलं काण्डग्राहमहामीनं वन्दे रामायणार्णवम् यः कर्णाञ्जलिः सम्पुटैरहरहः सम्यक् पिबध्यादरात् वाल्मीकेर्वदनारविन्दगलितं रामायणाख्यं मधु जन्मव्याधि जराविभक्तिमरणैरत्यन्तसोबत्रवम् संसारंश्च विहाय गच्छति पुमान् विष्णोः पदं शाश्वतम् तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनार्थवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिप्रणीतं दशशिरसश्च वदं निसामयध्वं श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपम् आजानुबाहुम् अरविन्ददलाय दाक्षं रामं निशाचरविनाशकरं नमामि वैदेही सहितं शुरद्रुमदले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रभञ्जनसुदे तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरदादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलम् आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषेशात् प्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरैनं जहिरावणिं तपस्वाध्यायनिरतं तपस्वी वाग्विदाम्बरं नारदं परिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिर्मुनिपुङ्गवं श्रीरघुनन्दनपरब्रह्मणे नमः. These were the Dhyana shlokas. Now we go into the actual Samkshepa Ramayana. तपस्वाध्यायनिरतं तपस्वी वाग्विदाम्बरं नारदं परिपप्रच्छ वाल्मीकिर्मुनिपुङ्गवं कोऽन्वस्मिन् साम्प्रतं लोके गुणवान् कश्च वीर्यवान् धर्मज्ञश्च कृतज्ञश्च सत्यवाक्यो दृढव्रतः चारित्रेण च को युक्तः सर्वभूतेषु को हितः विद्वान् कः कः समर्थश्च कश्चैकप्रियदर्शनः आत्मवान् को जितक्रोधो द्युतिमान् को न सूयकः कस्य बिभ्यति देवाश्च जातरोषस्य संयुगे एतदिच्छाम्यहं श्रोतुं परं कौतूहलं हि मे महर्षे त्वं समर्थोऽसि ज्ञातुमेवं विधं नरं श्रुत्वा चैतत्त्रिलोकज्ञो वाल्मीकिर्नारदो वचः श्रूयतामिति चामन्त्र्य प्रहृष्टो वाक्यमब्रवीत् बहवो दुर्लभाश्चैव ये त्वया कीर्तिता गुणाः मुने वक्ष्याम्यहं बुद्ध्वा तैर्युक्तः श्रूयतां नरः इक्ष्वाकुवंशप्रभवो रामो नाम जनैः श्रुतः नियतात्मा महावीर्यो द्युतिमान् धृतिमान् वशी बुद्धिमान् नीतिमान् वाग्मी श्रीमान् शत्रुनिबर्हणः विपुलांसो महाबाहुः कम्बुग्रीवो महाहनुः महोरस्को महेश्वासो कूढजत्रूररिन्दमः आजानुबाहुः सुशिराः सुललाटः सुविक्रमः समः समविभक्ताङ्गः स्निग्धवर्णः प्रतापवान् वीनवक्षो विशालाक्षो लक्ष्मीवान् शुभलक्षणः धर्मज्ञः सत्यसन्धश्च प्रजानां च हिते रतः यशस्वी ज्ञानसम्पन्नः सुशीर्वश्यः समाधिमान् प्रजापतिः समः श्रीमान् धाता ऋभुनिषूदनः रक्षिता जीवलोकस्य धर्मस्य परिरक्षिता रक्षिता स्वस्य धर्मस्य स्वजनस्य च रक्षिता वेदवेदाङ्गतत्त्वज्ञो धनुर्वेदे च निष्ठितः सर्वशास्त्रात्वतत्त्वज्ञः स्मृतिमान् प्रतिभानवान् सर्वलोकप्रियः साधु हरीनात्मा विचक्षणः सर्वदाभिगतसद्भिः समुद्र इव सिन्धुभिः आर्य सर्वसमश्चैव सदैव प्रियदर्शनः स च सर्वगुणोपेदः कौसल्यानन्दवर्धनः समुद्रैव गाम्भीर्ये धैर्येण हिमवानिव विष्णुना सदृशो वीर्ये सोमवत्प्रियदर्शनः कालाग्निसदृशे क्रोधे क्षमया पृथिवी समः धनतेन समस्त्यागे सत्ये धर्म इवापरः तमेव गुणं तमे त्वमेवं गुणसम्पन्नं रामं सत्यपराक्रमं ज्येष्ठं श्रेष्ठगुणैर्युक्तं प्रियं दशरथः सुतं प्रकृतीनां हितैर्युक्तं प्रकृतिप्रियकाम्यया यौवराज्येन संयोक्तुम् ऐच्छत् प्रीत्या महीपतिः तस्याभिषेकसम्भारान् दृष्ट्वा भार्या कैकेयी पूर्वं दत्तवरा देवी परमेन मयाचत विवासनंश्च रामस्य भरतस्याभिषेचनं स सत्यवचनात् राजा धर्मपाशेन संयतः विवासयामास सुतं रामं दशरथः प्रियं स जगामवनं वीरः प्रतिज्ञामनुपालयन् पितुर्वचननिर्देशात् कैकेय्याः प्रियकारणात् तं व्रजन्तं प्रियो भ्राता लक्ष्मणोऽनुजगामः स्नेहात् विनयसम्पन्नः सुमित्रानन्तवर्धनः भ्रातरं दयितो भ्रातुः सौभ्रात्रम् अनुदर्शयन् रामस्य दयिता भार्या नित्यं प्राणसमाहिता जनकस्य कुले जाता देवमायेव निर्मिता सर्वलक्षणसम्पन्ना नारीणामुत्तमा वधूः सीताप्यनुगता रामं शशिनं रोहिणी यथा पौरैरनुगतो दूरं पित्रा दशरथेन च शृङ्गवेरपुरे सूतं गङ्गाकूले व्यसर्जयत् गुहमासाद्य धर्मात्मा निषादाधिपतिं प्रियं गुहेन सहितो रामो लक्ष्मणेन च सीतया ते वनेन वनं गत्वा नदीस्तीर्त्वा बहूदकाः चित्रकूटमनुप्राप्य भरद्वाजस्य शासनात् रम्यमावसतं कृत्वा रममाणा वने त्रयः देवगन्धर्वसङ्काशान् अस्त्रतेऽन्यवसन् सुखं चित्रकूटं गते रामे पुत्रशोकातुरस्तदा राजा दशरथः स्वर्गं जगामविलपन् सुतं गते तु तस्मिन् भरतो वसिष्ठप्रमुखैर्द्विजैः नियुज्यमानो राज्याय नैच्छद्राज्यं महाबलः स जगामवनं वीरो रामपादः प्रसादकः गत्वा तु स महात्मानं रामं सत्यपराक्रमम् अयाचद् भ्रातरं रामम् आर्यभावः पुरस्कृतः त्वमेव राजा धर्मज्ञ इति रामं वचोब्रवीत् रामोऽपि परमोदारः सुमुखः सुमहायशाः न चैच्छत्पितरादेशात् राज्यं रामो महाबलः पादुके चास्य राज्याय न्यासं दत्त्वा पुनः पुनः निवर्तयामास ततो भरदं भरदाग्रजः सकाममनवाप्यैव रामपादावुपस्पृशन् नन्दिग्रामे करोद्राज्यं रामागमनकाङ्क्षया गते तु भरते श्रीमान् सत्यसन्धो जितेन्द्रियः रामस्तु पुनरालक्ष्य नागरस्य जनस्य च तत्रागमनमेकाग्रो दण्डकान् प्रविवेशः प्रविश्यस्तु महारण्यं रामो राजीवलोचनः विराधं राक्षसं हत्वा शरभङ्गं तदर्शः सुतीक्ष्णं चाप्यगत्सत्यं च अहस्त्य भ्रातरं तथा अगस्त्यवचनाच्चैव जग्राहैन्द्रं शराचनं खड्गं च परमः प्रीतः स्तूणी साक्षयसायकौ असतस्तस्य रामस्य वने वनचरैः सह ऋषयोऽभ्यागमन् सर्वे वधायासुररक्षसां स तेषां प्रतिशुश्राव राक्षसानां तदा वने प्रतिज्ञातश्च रामेण वधः संयति रक्षसां ऋषीणामग्निकल्पानां दण्डकारण्यवासिनां तेन तत्रैव वसता जनस्थाननिवासिनी विरूपिता शूर्पणखा राक्षसी कामरूपिणी ततः शूर्पणखा वाक्यात् उद्युक्तान् सर्वराक्षसान् खरं त्रिशिरसं चैव दूषणं चैव राक्षसं निजघाणरणे रामः तेषां चैव पदानुगान् वने तस्मिन् निवसता जनस्थाननिवासिनां रक्षसां निहतायान् रक्षसां निहतान्यासन् सहस्राणि चतुर्दशः ततो ज्ञातिवधं श्रुत्वा रावणः क्रोधमूर्छितः सहायं वरयामास मारीचं नाम राक्षसं वार्यमाणाः सुबहुशो मारीचेन स रावणः न विरधो बलवता क्षमो रावणतेन ते अनादृत्य तु तद्वाक्यं रावणः कालचोदितः जगामसः मारीचः तस्याश्रमपदं तदा तेन मायाविना दूरम् अपवाह्य नृपात्मजौ जहार भार्यां रामस्य क्रुध्रं हत्वा जटायुषं क्रुध्रं च निहतं दृष्ट्वा हृतां श्रुत्वा च मैथिलीं राघवशोकसन्तप्तो विललावाकुलेन्द्रियः ततस्तेनैव शोकेन क्रुध्रं धत्वा जटायुषं मार्गमाणो वने सीतां राक्षसं सन्ददर्शः अबन्धं नाम रूपेण विकृतं घोरदर्शनं तं निहत्य महाबाहुः तदाह स्वर्गतश्च सः सचास्य कथयामास शबरीं धर्मचारिणीं श्रमणां धर्मनिपुणाम् अभिगच्छेति राघव रोऽभ्यगच्छन् महातेजा शबरीं शत्रुसूदनः शबर्या पूजितः सम्यग् रामो दशरथात्मजः पम्पातीरे हनुमता सङ्गतो वानरेणः हनुमद्वचनाच्चैव सुग्रीवेण समागतः सुग्रीवाय च तत्सर्वं संसद् रामो महाबलः आदितस्तद्यथा वृत्तं सीतायाश्च विशेषतः सुग्रीवश्चापि तत्सर्वं श्रुत्वा रामस्य वानरः चकार सख्यं रामेण प्रीतश्चैवाग्निसाक्षिकं ततो वानरराजेन वैरानुगतनं प्रति रामायावेदितं सर्वं प्रणया दुःखितेन च प्रतिज्ञातं च रामेण तदा वालिवधं प्रति वालिनश्च बलं तत्र कथयामास वानरः सुग्रीवः शङ्कितश्चासीन् नित्यं वीर्येण राघवे राघव प्रत्ययार्तं तुन्दुभे कायमुत्तमं दर्शयामास सुग्रीवो महापर्वतसन्निभम् उत्स्मयित्वा महाबाहुः प्रेक्ष्य चास्ति महाबलः पादाङ्गुष्ठेन चिक्षेप सम्पूर्णं दशयोजनं बिभेत च पुनस्तालान् सप्तैकेन महेशुना गिरिं रसातलं चैव जनयन् प्रत्ययं तदा ततः प्रीतमनास्तेन विश्वस्त समहाकपीः किष्किन्धां रामसहितो जगाम च गुहां तदा तदो गर्जद्धरिवरः सुग्रीवो हेमपिङ्गळः तेन नादेन महता निर्जगाम हरीश्वरः अनुमान्य तथा तारां सुग्रीवेण समागतः निजघान च तत्रैनं शरैकेण राघवः ततः सुग्रीववचनात् दत्त्वा वालिनमाहवे सुग्रीवमेव तद्राज्ये राघवः प्रत्यपादयत् स च सर्वान् समानीय वानरान् वानरर्षभः दिशः प्रस्थापयामास तिदृक्षुर्जनकात्मजां ततो क्रुद्धस्य वचनात् सम्पातेर्हनुमान् बली शतयोजनविस्तीर्णं पुप्लुवे लवणार्णवम् तत्र लङ्कां समासाद्य पुरीं रावणपालितां तदर्श सीतां ध्यायन्तीम् अशोकवणिकां गतां निवेदयित्वा विज्ञानं प्रवृत्तिं विनिवेद्य च समाश्वास्य च वैदेहीं मर्दयामास तोरणम् पञ्चसेनाग्रहान् हत्वा सप्तमन्त्रीसुतानपि क्षूरमक्षंश्च निष्पिष्य ग्रहणं समुपागमत् अस्त्रेणोन्मुक्तमात्मानं ज्ञात्वा पैतामहाद्वरात् मर्शयन् राक्षसान् वीरो यन्त्रिणस्तान् यदृच्छया ततो दत्त्वा पुरीं लङ्कां वृते सीतां च मैथिलीं रामाय प्रियमाख्यातुं पुनरायान् महाकपिः सोऽभिगम्य महात्मानं कृत्वा रामं प्रदक्षिणं न्यवेद्यत मे यात्मा दृष्टा सीतेति तत्त्वतः ततः सुग्रीवः सहितो गत्वा तीरं महोदधेः समुद्रं क्षोभयामास शरैरादित्यसन्निभैः दर्शयामास चात्मानं समुद्रचरितां पतीः समुद्रवचनाच्चैव नलं सेतुमकारयत् तेन गत्वा पुरीं लङ्कां हत्वा रावणमाहवे रामः सीतामनुप्राप्य परां व्रीडामुपागमत् तामुवाच ततो रामः परुषं जनसंसदि अमृष्यमाणा सा सीता विवेश ज्वलनं सति ततोऽग्निवचनात् सीतां ज्ञात्वा विगतकल्मषां कर्मणा तेन महता त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं सते वर्षिगणं तुष्टं राघवस्य महात्मनः बभौ रामः सम्प्रहृष्टः पूजितः सर्वदैवतैः अभिशिष्य च लङ्कायां राक्षसेन्द्रं विभीषणं कृतकृत्यस्तदा रामो विज्वरः प्रमुमोदः देवताभ्यो वरं प्राप्य समुत्थाप्य च वानरान् अयोध्यां प्रस्थितो रामः पुष्पकेण सुहृद्भृतः भरद्वाजाश्रमं गत्वा रामः सत्यपराक्रमः भरतस्यान्तिके रामो हनुमन्तं व्यसर्जयत् पुनराख्यायिकां जल्पन् सुग्रीवः सहितस्तदा पुष्पकं तत्समारुह्य नन्दिग्रामं ययौ तदा नन्दिग्रामे जटां हित्वा भ्रातृभिः सहितो नगः रामः सीतामनुप्राप्य राज्यं पुनरवाप्तवान् प्रहृष्टो मुदितो लोकः तुष्टः पुष्टः सुधार्मिकः निरामयो ह्यरोगश्च दुर्भिक्षभयवर्जितः So this is all the Falashruti. न पुत्रमरणं किञ्चित् द्रक्ष्यन्ति पुरुषाः क्वचित् नार्यश्च विधवा नित्यं भविष्यन्ति पतिव्रताः न चाग्निजं भयं किञ्चित् नाप्सु मज्जन्ति जन्तवः न वातजं भयं किञ्चित् नाभिज्वरकृतं ततः न चाभिक्षुद्भयं तत्र न तस्करभयं तथा नगराणि च राष्ट्राणि धनधान्ययुतानि च नित्यं प्रमुदिता सर्वे यथा कृतयुगे तथा अश्वमेधस्तैर्दृष्ट्वा तथा बहुषु वर्णकैः गवां कोट्ययुधं दत्त्वा विद्वद्भ्यो विधिपूर्वकम् असङ्ख्येयं धनं दत्त्वा ब्राह्मणेभ्यो महायशाः राजवंशान् शतगुणान् स्थापयिष्यति राघवः चातुर्वर्ण्यंश्च लोकेऽस्मिन् स्वे स्वे धर्मे नियोक्ष्यति राजवंशान् शतगुणान् स्थापयिष्यति राघवः चातुर्वर्ण्यंश्च लोकेऽस्मिन् स्वे स्वे धर्मे नियोक्ष्यति दशवर्षसहस्राणि दशवर्षशतानि च रामो राज्यमुपासित्वा ब्रह्मलोकं प्रयास्यति दशवर्षसहस्राणि दशवर्षशतानि च रामो राज्यमुपासित्वा ब्रह्मलोकं प्रयास्यति इदं पवित्रं पापघ्नं पुण्यं वेदैश्च सम्मितं यः पठेत् रामचरितं सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते एतदाख्यानमायुष्यं पठन् रामायणं नरः सपुत्रपौत्रः सगणः प्रेत्ये स्वर्गे महीयते पठन् द्विजो वा कृषभत्वमीयात् स्यात् क्षत्रियो भूमिपतित्वमीयात् वणिक्जनः पण्यफलत्वमीयात् जनश्च शूद्रोऽपि महत्त्वमीयात् पठन् द्विजो वा कृषभत्वमीयात् स्यात् क्षत्रियो भूमिपतित्वमीयात् वणिक्जनः पण्यफलत्वमीयात् जनश्च शूद्रोऽपि महत्त्वमीयात् इति श्रीमद् रामायणपारायण समापने अनुसन्धेयश्लोकक्रमः. So from here it will be the Mangala shlokams. एवमेतत् पुरावृत्तम् आख्यानं भद्रमस्त्वः प्रव्याहरद विश्रब्धं बलं विष्णोः प्रवर्धदां लाभस्तेषां जयस्तेषां कुतस्तेषां पराभवः येक्षामिन्दीवरश्यामो हृदये सुप्रतिष्ठतः काले वर्षत पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितो ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः कावेरी वर्धतां काले काले वर्षतु वासवः श्रीरङ्गनाथो जयतु श्रीरङ्गश्रीश्च वर्धताम् स्वस्ति प्राजाप्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः को ब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु मङ्गलं कौसलेन्द्राय महनीय गुणाब्धये चक्रवर्तितनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलं वेदवेदान्तवेद्याय मेघश्यामलमूर्तये पुंसां मोहनरूपाय पुण्यश्लोकाय मङ्गलं विश्वामित्रान्तरङ्गाय मिथिलानगरीपतेः भाग्यानां परिपागाय भव्यरूपाय मङ्गलं पितृभक्ताय सततं भ्रातृभिः सह सीतया नन्दिताखिललोकाय रामभद्राय मङ्गलं त्यक्तसाकेतवासाय चित्रकूटविहारिणे सेव्याय सर्वयमिनां धीरोदाराय मङ्गलं सौमित्रिणा स जानक्या चापबाणाशिधारिणे संसेव्याय सदा भक्तया स्वामिने मम मङ्गलं दण्डकारण्यवासाय खण्डितामरचत्रवे कृध्रराजाय भक्ताय मुक्तिदायास्तु मङ्गलं सादरं सबरीदत्तफलमूलाभिलाषिने सौलभ्यपरिपूर्णाय सत्त्वोत्रिक्ताय मङ्गलं हनुमत्समवेदाय हरिसाभीष्टदायिने वालिप्रमथनायास्तु महाधीराय मङ्गलं श्रीमते रघुवीराय सेतुल्लङ्घितसिन्धवे जितराक्षसराजाय रणधीराय मङ्गलम् आसाद्य नगरीं दिव्यामभिषिक्ताय सीतया राजाधिराजराजाय रामभद्राय मङ्गलम् मङ्गलाशासनपरैर्मदाचार्यपुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यै सत्कृतायास्तु मङ्गलम् कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृतेः स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि इति श्री संक्षेपरामायणं सम्पूर्णम् कवितार्किकसिंहाय कल्याणगुणशालिने श्रीमते वेङ्कटेशाय वेदान्तगुरवे नमः.
Excellent. Enjoyed very much.
Thank you. It was really a pleasure. Once again, I would just say it was a divine honor to do this. From time to time. Sorry?
You really created a divine atmosphere.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Oftentimes when I was reading this over the years, I would get this, why am I reading this? I think today it was lovely opportunity for me to present this. And thank you so much, Mrinalini. And I think I told her sometime in December or January, I think, close to the Ram Janmabhoomi thing. And then it was really very sweet of her to get back to me in time, asking me to do this. And absolute honor and a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mrinalini, and thank you all of you for being this patient. I don't think I would have sat through a half an hour recitation like this. I think you're on mute,
No, no, I
Kishori.
think we are blessed
Spellbound.
to.
I was
Yes,
spellbound.
yes, and this is
Yes.
a rare occasion. I mean, I would have never
Yes.
heard a Samskipta
Yes.
Ramayana right in front of me, very, very comfortably, right in front of,
Excellent.
uh, yeah, sitting there across at home. So
Without leaving the
thank you very
comfort
much.
of the yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Very
yeah,
good.
Shweta.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to thank her. Thank you, Malati ma'am. If you were
Thank you so
singing,
much.
I could actually sit for an hour or two also. You
Oh,
sing so
thank you
well
so much.
and
Thank you
you
so
recite
much.
it so
Thank you.
well. I could actually
I
sit for hours long.
I
I have
think
a question. Is it okay if
sure.
I ask you an elementary question?
Sure. If I know, I will answer definitely, or else I'll come back to you with an answer. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
yeah, that's okay. I just wanted to know. This is a very primitive question. I have not read Ramayana, and I just wanted to know where exactly does Ramayana start and where exactly does it end? At
So the Ram
what point in Rama's life it starts, or before Rama it starts, and then where exactly it ends?
So there are two things to your question. One is
Mhm,
where does Ramayana start in terms of writing the epic itself? If that is the question, then it
mhm.
starts with the Samkshepa Ramayana, which is the first. This is where it starts. So it
Oh.
starts with the question by Valmiki.
Mhm, mhm,
So he asks, "Kon vasmin sampradam loke." So that is the question with which Valmiki starts, and that is where the epic starts. But if you ask Rama's life, where does it begin? Then you have to go to the Ashwamedha Yaga performed by Dasharatha,
mhm.
followed by the Putra Kameshti Yaga that he performed. And from
Yes,
there starts the payasa that comes out of the yajna, which is
yes.
consumed by Dasharatha's queens.
Mhm.
So from there starts Rama's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my question was to the epic. You addressed it really well. But where does the epic end then? Ramayana epic?
So there are again multiple versions of that. If you have to go to Valmiki's Ramayana, there are six kandas. But there are many people who came afterwards. They said that Yuddhakanta is not part of it. Some people
Mhm,
say Yuddhakanta is part of it. So there are varying opinions, varying ideas that come. But we believe that Valmiki had, in fact, written those
mhm,
24,000 shlokas, which means
mhm.
from the Balakanda to the Ayodhya Kanda to the Aranya Kanda to the Kishkinda Kanda to the Sundara Kanda and then the Yuddha
Okay.
Kanda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay.
And
Thank
may
you.
I add
Thank you
Kanda
very
something,
much.
also, there is
Mhm,
another
if I
one,
may?
seventh Kanda, which is the Uttara Kanda. Some
mhm.
people consider it to be an addition. Some people also think that it is part of the 24,000 shlokas. Yeah, I think that's my husband. He wanted to say something.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
wanted to mention that Uttarakanda is uh, considered to be written by Valmiki, but many people don't accept it. So
Mhm,
if you are of the thought that Yuddhakanda is the last part of Ramayana, then Rama Pattabhishekam is the finishing part of Ramayana. But if you actually go by
mm,
Uttarakanda thought process, then it takes you all the way up to Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, all of them going back to Vaikuntha. So they enter the Sarayu river and leave this world.
mhm,
So there are different schools of thought, but
mhm,
the book that I have, Ramayana, published by Gita Press, it
mhm.
has Uttarakanda also as part of the official Ramayana. So
Oh,
I would imagine that Uttarakanda, the seventh Kanda, is also part of Ramayana.
oh, and it was not written by Tulsidas then. Then I somehow Okay. I was
Yeah.
confused about
Tulsidas
that.
Ramayana is an
Mhm.
adaptation of Valmiki Ramayana. So Ramayana was originally written by Valmiki. That is what
Yes.
Malthi said in the beginning.
Yes.
And
Yes.
all other versions of Ramayana that you have in India, there are
Mhm.
more than 40 or 50 versions of Ramayana in various different Indian local regional languages,
Mhm.
and all of them are some kind of an adoption, and
Mhm.
localized versions of Valmiki Ramayana.
Okay.
And
Now,
Tulsi
now it's
Ramayana is
clear.
one of
Mm.
those adaptations.
Okay. Now it's clear to me. Okay. I was just brought up with this. I don't know, the serial Ramayana by Ramananda Sagar.
Yeah.
I grew up with that serial, and somehow I really got confused. Where exactly would it start, the epic? Where exactly would it start? Where it would end? And where does the other versions come into
Yeah.
play?
If you
That-
remember the credits page of
Mhm,
Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana
mhm,
itself,
mhm, mhm.
he would list some 25 different Ramayanas from where he has picked up the
Yes,
stories, and based on
yes,
which he has created the serial. So
yes, I
Ramanand Sagar
remember.
himself
Mhm,
acknowledges all these 25, 30 different versions that he had referred to.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, but there are a lot of instances in the Ramanand Sagar's version which are actually not there in any version of Ramayana. So it was
yes.
more to more to please the audience. I think he had put a lot of dramatic elements here and there.
Mm,
But by and large, I think it was a very inspiring series, both of them, Ramayana and Mahabharata.
yes. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks a
you,
lot.
thank you, thank you.
Any
Right.
other questions, reactions? Everybody's spellbound, I think, still in the class.
No, I think what you have organized for these 9 days is very, very good, actually.
Yeah. Vaishnavi?
Yeah, hello, Malthi, Tai. I'm
Hello.
Vaishnavi, and I was listening to the entire Ramayan, entire Sakshipta Ramayan, and I was literally spellbound to hear everything. There were so many details that we didn't know, and
Thank you.
I was always I mean, I had always the idea that, yeah, when Mata Sita enters Shri Valmiki Ji's ashram, then he gets the inspiration, or he gets the idea, like he knows already what is happening, and then he writes. That was what I knew about it, but I didn't know the conversation which happened between Narada and Shri Valmiki. So I was really spellbound to hear that, and that is something really new for me, and it is a treasure to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I was completely unaware of the conversation between Narada and Valmiki.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, he was the chosen one to write the epic. So
yes,
he had to be washed off his sins first.
absolutely.
He has to become divine, and only then he can write. So,
Right,
which is why we have that first incident, first event when Narada comes and meets him in the forest, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
tells him to go talk to his family, and comes back, and then he sits in meditation. So that's the
Right,
first event. Yeah,
That
and
right.
the
that first
second,
story, yeah.
yeah.
That first story we learned as school kids, in primary school.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
I was aware of the first part of the story when he asks, Narada asks Valmiki ji to, when he, before he became a sage, to ask whether the family members will be ready to accept the recorporations of his sins. That I was
Yeah,
aware of, but then I was not aware of the part where he asks Narada whether there is a person who is present on earth who has these 16 beautiful qualities.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was amazing to hear. I mean,
It is
I,
like
I
who is living now? That was the question. He asked,
right,
is
right.
there anyone on this earth
Mm-hmm.
who's currently living, not in the past, not in the future, who's currently living, who's my contemporary, who
Right.
has all these 16 qualities? And at that time, Sita Devi was already there in his ashram. That was new to me. For me, I didn't know that one, that they were contemporaries, and
Right.
two, that Sita was already with at Valmiki's ashram when all of this,
Yes.
unfolded.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even I was not aware of it. Absolutely not. Yeah. But thank
Yeah.
you so much. It's like a treasure
Thank you.
to my Ramayana knowledge. Yeah.
Yes. It is indeed Ramayana. Somebody just mentioned, the Ramayana that we read as a child and the Ramayana that we read as a teen and then as a young adult and as we grow, the story is the same.
Right.
But we tend to add in a lot of beautiful, valuable things into the basket of knowledge that we are collecting, and our perspectives also change as we grow. So, I mean, it's amazing to read Ramayana. I kind of that is the only book I think I would go to if I had to choose among so many other things. Many people would say Bhagavad Gita, but I think Ramayana is very simple to follow. You don't. I don't read Sanskrit. In fact, I read from Tamil, which is my mother tongue.
Okay.
But still, I mean, it was for me also. I was able to follow the meaning of the verses once the context is clear.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful story. Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Okay. Any other questions? No.
I think there's someone has mentioned a comment in the chat. I think. Okay, unable to hear clearly. I don't know what the thing is. Yeah,
No,
I think
no. It
after
was at the
afterwards
beginning.
it was.
Yeah, it was at the
Hmm.
beginning. Then it
Yeah.
was fine. Okay, then I thank you, Malthi, so
Yes.
much for this wonderful rendition. It was indeed magical. And
Thank
I
you.
have recorded the session for people who have missed it, unfortunately, who
Okay.
couldn't take out the time today. They missed an opportunity because hearing you live and seeing the video are two different things. So
It's always the case, right? Yeah. Yeah.
yes, so I would share the recording in my group, and
Yes.
I look forward to more sessions with you. Maybe we could
Definitely.
discuss something. And,
Definitely. Let's connect later. Once you're done with
yes.
this, we can talk
Yes.
and we can
Sure.
see what we can do together. I definitely loved, I mean, for me, it was like an opportunity, definitely. And anything else in the future also, I would be happy to participate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish
Thank you
a
once again
nice
to all
evening
of you.
ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Lovely
much.
Chaitra Navaratri to all of you.
Yeah.
And
Good night. Good night.
hope to see you all soon at another such lovely session.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.